Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the 20th part of this series where we are building a personal dashboard app using Angular. In this video, we're going to be dynamically generating the bookmark tiles based on the data that's in the bookmark service. Alright then, let's get started. So let's go back to the code here and let's go to, first of all, we can just close a few of these to clean up the workspace. So I'm going to close these and I'm going to open up the bookmarks component template. Alright, here we go. And first of all, let's just get rid of all of these. We just need one. Okay, save that, go back to the application. And now we only have one. That's good. Now let's go here and let's actually, first of all, go to the component class and let's inject the service. So private bookmark service. Okay, and then we can go here and create a property called bookmarks. And that will be a bookmark array. Alright, and then inside ng on init, we can now do this.bookmarks is equal to this.bookmarkservice.getBookmarks. Okay, let's save this now, go to the template, and let's use an ng4 here. So let's do ng4 is equal to let bookmark of bookmarks. Okay, let's save that and go back to the application. And now we can't see anything. And that's because we actually haven't got any data inside our service, right? So if you go to the service here, this is an empty array, right? So let's actually just set up some test data. So let's go here, and then here we can do new bookmark. And here we can pass in the name, which we could set as test. And here we can pass in the URL as http wikipedia.org. Okay, let's save that and go back to the application. Okay, and here we see that we have one tile showing up here. Cool. So now what we could do is we could actually go and make the tile dynamic so that it's showing the actual bookmark data, right? Because here we have one bookmark which has the name of test and it has the Wikipedia URL. However, it's showing the Google favicon and the name is Google, right? And the reason for that is because we've hard coded it. So if we go to the bookmark tile component template, then here we see that these are hard coded, right? So let's go and make this dynamic. So first of all, let's go to the bookmark tile component class and let's set up an input property. So at input, okay, and let's call this bookmark. And this will be of type bookmark. Okay, and that's to be imported up here. Alright, so let's save this now and let's go to the bookmark tile component template. And now we can actually make these dynamic. So here, let's use string interpolation and let's do bookmark.name. Okay, let's save this and go back to the application. And now we don't see anything. And the reason for that is because we actually have to pass in the input property, right? Because at the moment, if we go to the bookmarks component HTML, here we aren't passing in that input property. So here what we can do is we can use property binding on the bookmark input property. Okay, and set this equal to bookmark, which is from the ng4. Okay. Okay, so let's save that and let's go back to the application. And now we see test. Cool, so that's really good. Let's now go to the service and let's just play around with this. And let's change this to updated. Let's save and go back to the application. And now it says updated. Cool, so that's actually working. Let's change this back to test. Or we can set this to Wikipedia. Okay, let's save that and go back to the application. Cool, alright, so now let's go and change the favicon to be dynamic. Okay, and actually, one second, I think I've not spelled this correctly. Yeah, this has to be an I. Okay, save that, go back to the application. Cool, alright, so let's go back to the code here, and let's go to the bookmark tile component template here. And now we actually want to make this dynamic, right? So let's actually get rid of this. And let's save that, go back to the application. And now we can't see anything. Okay, cool. Let's now go and go to the component class And let's create a property for the favicon, all right? So, all right, so let's go here and let's create a property called tile icon source, and this will be a string, okay? And what we could do is we could go here, and I guess what we could do is we could do this dot tile icon source is equal to this dot bookmark dot URL, okay? And this is a URL object, right? So here, what we can do is we can do dot origin plus slash favicon dot ico. Cool. All right, so let's save that now, and let's go to the component template, and let's use property binding on the image source, and let's set this to the tile icon source property. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that and paste it in there. All right, let's save that and go back to the application. And now we see the, awesome. So now we see the Wikipedia logo there. Cool. All right, so that's really awesome. Let's go back to the bookmark view, the bookmarks view, and actually let's just go to the service and let's try and create a few more bookmarks. So let's go here and let's do new bookmark, and let's try this with YouTube. Okay, and then let's pass in the URL http youtube.com. All right, let's save that, go back to the application. Cool. All right, so that's working pretty nicely. Let's try with Google. Save that, go back to the application, and there we go. Cool. Cool. All right, so yeah, let me just change that to capital T. Let's see here. Cool. All right, so that's looking pretty good. But one thing that I've noticed here is that this favicon is smaller than the others, right? And it's actually it's making these tiles not look consistent, right? Because the text here looks higher up than this one here and this one here. So what we can do is we can actually go and work on that next. So, all right, okay, so let's go back to the code here, and let's go to the bookmark tile component, and let's actually wrap this image tag in another div, and let's give this the class of tile icon. Okay, let's save that, and let's now go to the style sheet, and let's go and style the tile icon class, and let's set the height to 32 pixels and the width to 32 pixels. Okay, so now they will all consistently be 32 pixels high and 32 pixels wide. Okay, so if I save that and go back to the application, so now we see that the text is all aligned, they're all the same at the same place, and that's because these are all 32 pixels in height, right? So that's pretty good. However, this isn't centered, right? So it's actually in a bit of a weird position. So let's go and center this. Let's make this tile icon display flex. Okay, and then let's do justify content center, and let's do align items center. Okay, let's save that, and let's go back to the application, and now it's centered. Cool. All right, so that seems to have fixed the problem. Cool. All right, so we now want to allow the user to add a new bookmark. So let's go and work on that next.